stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
So what's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon. What is it? Is it afternoon yet? Let me know if y'all can hear me on that mic good, man. I went back and checked the audio. Why y'all ain't tell me my audio was low last stream? I know this is a random stream, man, but I want to tap in. I figured out a way. I wanted to test it out again and see about getting us the midweek teleconference going, getting y'all tapped in. What's up? What's up, everybody? Urban Essence, good to see you. Tevin, good to see you. Good to see you. Y'all, I look small because this shirt got stretched. I was out there playing with the dogs. So don't be talking about I'm getting skinny. I'm not. This shirt got stretched out. I was out there playing with the dogs in the yard, and got the email for the midweek teleconference. So we tapping in live. Share it up. Coach Kalen Deboer gonna be up here in about 5 minutes. Should be. What's good? What's good? Hey, what's good? What's good, Tevin? What's good, Essence? Good to see everybody in the chat. Listen, if you're tapping in post live, make sure you drop a like on the stream. I've been seeing you guys tap in on the stream here, in the post live streams, man. Been tapping in and helping us out really on the back end of things. I know the live audience on the random streams is not as prevalent, or there's not as many people, but when you all do see that you all missed a live, you guys tap in and you all show mad support. So I appreciate you all for that and being so supportive of the Coach Smook Network and how we're growing this community. Man, we're growing for real. We're growing. What's up, Zach? Good to see you. Roll Tide, my guy. What's good, man? Good to see Zach in the chat, y'all. And I don't have anybody in the back, though. We're gonna be running this a little different in a few here. So Let me see if I could get this uploaded here. I might just do one of these.
At 11:30 Central with Alabama.
Okay, yeah. I'll be back in 12:30 Central. 11:30 Central. 11:30 Central with Alabama. All right, so we'll be getting ready to listen into the midweek teleconference. Share it up. Tell everybody we got Kalen Deboer coming up in 4 minutes. In about 4 minutes, got Kalen Deboer. Might even be able to ask our own question. And if you have a question, go ahead and put my name in the hat. Put my name in the hat. Make sure we set up. Yeah, we got some quality stuff going on over here. I figured some stuff out. Sometimes you just gotta chill, right? Sometimes you just gotta chill. Okay, we good. We good, chat. We still good. All right. So when Coach Kalen Deboer comes on, we'll get everything going, popped off. What's up, Zach? Coming in with the $20 super chat, $19.99 super chat, saying let's go whoop up on Vandy. We're gonna talk a little bit, Vandy, after Coach Deboer's interview. Appreciate that $19.99 super chat, Zach. And it is a new month, so we got a new banner we got to start up. So Zach is the first super chat for this month and the first co-sponsor for the stream. Let's give the month of September, as you see him going across the bottom there, let's give them a round of applause for a second, man. Let's do that for the month of September, because they did do their thing, man. Look at all those donations in the month of September, man. That's awesome, man. All those people believing in a vision that God gave me. Yeah, that's crazy. I love that. What's up, Jason? Well, Zach, you the first one of this month, so we're gonna get this updated real quick, and then start a new month, man. Appreciate y'all. Well, we got Coach Deboer coming up with the midweek teleconference. What do y'all want to hear from Coach Deboer? If we're able to ask a question, start typing that in the chat right now. And Zach, can you type that? What would you like to hear from Coach Deboer, so I can pin that comment? There we go. Coach Deboer up next. Chatting with Coach Smook. Okay. You didn't look into OneNote, Smook? What you mean OneNote? What you talking about, Ro? I just want defense to stop the run. I think we all do, man. I think we're gonna be good, though. Hey, I think we're gonna be good. Morning, Smook. Can't wait until Saturday. Bama by 10. I got Bama in a close one too, man. I think we win this game by like 7-9 points. I don't think we run away with this game. I think we win it, though. I don't think we're ever like in a threat of losing it. I just don't think it's one of those games where we run away. Vanderbilt is a good team. They're going to lose 4 games, though, this season. They'll lose 4. What I was about to do, chat. All right, we got Coach Kalen Deboer coming up right about now. Should be coming up right now. Y'all like the vibes? Oh,
Alabama's Kalen Deboer will be next up on the call today. The Crimson Tide will host Vanderbilt on Saturday at 2:30 Central on ABC. For questions for Coach, please use the raise hand function. And Coach, while I wait on those questions, if you could take a moment to comment on your squad as you prepare for this week's home game versus Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's good to be back home after going on the road. Proud of our guys and the success we had last weekend in a tough environment against a really good football team, and we got to prepare to do it again. Vanderbilt, extremely well coached and talented, playing a high level of football right now, undefeated. And there's excitement on their end, and we got to make sure we do a great job preparing because they can pose a lot of problems for you in a lot of ways.
First up, we have Mike Rodak of 24/7.
Yeah, Kalen, it looks like Keon Sabb wasn't out there at the end of the Georgia game. Just wanted to see if there was an update on him and just kind of what you've seen from the safety position in general.
Yeah, no, he'll be playing on Saturday. He'll be playing on Saturday. And, I think the safeties have continued to get better. I think all of them have, especially Keon, since we brought him up, his volume has continued to increase working through fall camp. And, I think he's getting better and better each week, more comfortable just physically. And, I thought he's played his best football here as of late. And Bray's just done a really good job the last couple of weeks, leading the charge. He's playing hard-nosed. He's, in the right places and making the plays that we need, whether it's getting interceptions or forcing fumbles.
Next is Colin Gay of the Tuscaloosa News.
I thought I was about to say me, Chan.
Hey, Kalen, there's been a lot of talk about Diego Pavia, what the Vanderbilt offense can do. I'm curious of what you guys have seen as you game plan for Vanderbilt's defense heading into Saturday.
You asked about Diego, but then the Vanderbilt defense. All right, which one do you want?
No, I'm saying there's been a lot of talk about Diego Pavia in the offense, but what have you seen from their defense?
Okay, I got you. Well, I just think they're sound. They pick and choose their times to be really aggressive and come after you. But they play team football, and they get off the field and get the ball back to their offense. There's a physicality that they have. Again, their assignment sound, and just everyone does a good job focusing on their job, and they get guys on the ground. They are good tacklers.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next is Mike Griffith with the AJC.
Yeah, Coach, just kind of a generalized question as far as like script and plays. You always hear about teams going in with plays scripted coming out. Obviously, there's a ton of in-game adjustments. I guess I'm just kind of wondering on your general philosophy and what you can share as far as maybe deciphering some of that, putting it in layman's terms, explaining what's prepared and what's adjusted when you go into games, how that works.
Sure. I think the best way to explain how we've done it going back a long time, and we have a bank of plays, and for the most part we try to have an order to it, especially with your normal down and distances, your first and second downs, as long as you're within being in the chain, not behind the chains. And so we really try to make sure it's about getting guys touches and seeing different looks that we might get out of certain formations, and obviously running the stuff that we do well. So, there's a bank of plays. We have an order that we try to stick to, but it doesn't mean we have to. And so, again, you get the ball all of a sudden sometimes in the red zone, you're going to come off that script and you're going to run your red zone plays that you've practiced. And so, and obviously third down and those special situations as well.
And just following up, you used some timeouts. I know that crowd noise is always a factor. I think you guys were able to avoid any sort of motion penalties. You might have had one in there, but how important was it that Ty knew when to take those timeouts? And was some of that related, you think, to the game environment, or were those timeouts based on looks, as you recall?
Yeah, I think certainly one was probably just us wanting to check into a play or not liking the look, and that's always going to be the case. And in the first half, I want Ty never taking a snap where he doesn't feel comfortable. We don't want that at any point. But in the second half, you got to really be careful with your timeouts. And we did have a situation where the substitution piece, took too much time off the clock, both from our end substituting and then, of course, the opponent doing their thing with our late substitution, working the clock down to where we had to take a timeout.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Next will be Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Coach, appreciate the time. Hope you're doing well today, sir.
You do. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Given at least here in this state of so much talked about last year in that game in Nashville, and then just keeping your edge and what you mentioned about after the Florida State game, tell me about this fine line of maybe not putting too much on last year's game because it's obviously last year, Coach.
Yeah, no, good question. I think everything you do is about learning. And everything you've been through together is about taking what you've been through, taking what you see from other people, and applying it to be the best you can be. And we use the 1-0 mantra a lot, and it's about moving forward. When you make mistakes, you own it, you accept it. If it's something just happened, unfortunately, not in your favor, but you always move forward. And I think our guys have done a great job of balancing, having an edge, learning from, and also learning from, what we've been through, and not trying to make the same mistakes twice, whatever that might be, schematically, just mindset wise, going into a week of practice and a game, any and all of the above. And so I'm proud of the way the guys have responded. I knew they cared. Just needed to really make sure that, everyone's heading the same direction and has the right mindset going each and every week so we can execute at a high level.
And Coach, I heard Clark Lee yesterday, at least expressing his thoughts on your team, comparing this team to your second team at Washington that went all the way to the title game. Do you see any comparisons between that team at Washington and this Alabama team, Coach?
I think there's probably a style of play in some cases, especially offensively, that might apply. I know Coach Lee's a defensive minded, even as the head coach, you can probably watching a little bit more of that. But I think the other piece is just, you continue to take steps, and improve on what you were. And that should happen from year to year. That should happen from game to game. So that might be what he's seeing.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, thank you for your time today.
Yep, thank you.
All right, chat. Now we about to get up out of there. Let's leave that room. Boom. Yeah, we can update Zoom. All right, chat. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that little segment there. Hold on, let's get out of here. We're going to get back to the studio real quick. Y'all give me a second. Let's get back. So soon, man, one day we'll be able to be up there. You can see all the hands raised. There's like 60 something hands raised in there. A lot of people in that conference, man. All right, y'all. Let's get to the studio. Let's get to the studio real quick. Hey, if y'all ready to do it, man, let's get in the game. Let's talk about Alabama. Let's finally digest Alabama versus Georgia. I think we've done enough of that, but let's do our final run over that. But then let's get into the conversation about what I think we should see versus Vandy. And then tomorrow, Friday morning, we'll do our breakdown for the Vandy game with the call-in, and I'll do my keys to victory, what it shapes out to be. But we're just going to look at some initial things right now today, break it down, Alabama versus Vandy. And I have a reaction take that I'm going to be doing too. So y'all stick around, man. We got about a good hour and some change to be hanging out today. So if y'all ready to have some fun, put in the chat, man. Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Sitting here chatting with your boy, Coach Smook, man. I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank y'all for y'all support. And let's get into the game, man. You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips, the perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
Let's get into it, man. I'm ready to talk a little college football today, man. We got Bama versus Vandy. Bama versus Vandy, y'all. It's gonna be a crazy one this weekend. I think there will be a lot of emotion in this game. I think there is a sense of wanting to get revenge or get back, but more so for this team. This team is doing exactly. Y'all heard the question asked to Coach Kalen Deboer during the presser, and he was talking about the similarities between this team this year and year two at Bama, and some similarities between year one and year two, the team year two at Washington. And I looked at it, and I kind of thought I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the season, talking about how that Washington team year two, they benefited from playing in a conference where the style of play matched that conference. There wasn't too many contrasts, and they just had the advantage overall with the personnel that they had. But they still played in a lot of tight games, and that what you saw with that team that year, though they were one of the least penalized teams in the country, right? They weren't the best defense, but they were efficient. They were one of the better red zone defenses, and then offensively, you just couldn't stop them. And they could play whatever style of play that needed to play to win. And I think we're starting to see that already. And I don't think Alabama fans, or I guess you could say Saban era fans, I don't think they're too comfortable with that style of being a fandom, because they've only been fans for real during the Saban era. Let me type something up real quick before we get into this conversation, y'all. So I want to get into a few key points jumping into this game. But before we even move into that, let's talk about the overall stats and everything coming into this game. We've had a lot of production from first-year starter Ty Simpson. A lot of people thought I was doubting him coming into this season, when really I was just hoping that he would live up to the hype. A lot of mental things that he had to overcome in order to get to this place. And you can see right now that's where he kind of separates himself from the rest of the league at the quarterback position. His mental focus is on a different level right now at this point of the season. And I think right now, having Vanderbilt at home, as good as Vanderbilt is looking right now, they have yet to face an offense with this many weapons, right? With this offensive line that's going to be able to have the type of experience that we have up front. You look, they've handled every opponent on their schedule. It's not like Vanderbilt is barely winning games. They're handling their opponents, but they have yet to, in my opinion, seen a complete team. And Alabama, I don't think is a complete team, but I think we're closer to complete than Utah State, or I think we're closer to complete than Virginia Tech, week one. So I look at what Vanderbilt has been able to do offensively. Diego Pavia, a playmaker, a guy that can play off schedule at a high rate, something that you don't want to allow Vanderbilt to do. You don't want to allow Vanderbilt to play off schedule at a high rate. That's something. And when I say off schedule at a high rate, when they do drop back to pass the ball, do not allow Diego Pavia to get outside the pocket and scramble to create plays, because that's what they kind of live and die on, right? And they find a lot of success. They find a lot of success to do that because they do the extra reps in practice. You're talking about a veteran squad. Let me pull up their depth chart real quick. Vanderbilt's depth chart. I think that right now, I think the youngest player that's starting for him is a redshirt junior. So basically a senior out of all 22 starting positions. Let me look at that. Here we go. I'm pulling it up. And see, last year, I think we made the mistake of looking at the fact that they went out into the portal and got so many personnel. But you see how good they went and got scheme fits. A bunch of guys that were kind of under the radar, and they just schematically fit in. Like, I'm looking at the offense right now. You look at their starting offense right now. Let's start with the offensive line. Their left tackle, left guard, left tackle. Both of those are red shirt. You got a red shirt junior transfer right? In his second year on the offensive line. You got a graduate transfer, right? First year, your center is a graduate transfer. Guys just got a lot of snaps. Your right guard, your right tackle, both of them are graduate transfers. Eli Stowers is a graduate, came over last year. This is the second year in the system. Obvious, same thing. All these fifth-year guys. Then you got a Trey Richardson just came over, a transfer junior, right? Red shirt senior, a fourth-year guy, fifth-year guy, in Trent Hudson and Junior Sherrill going to be playing a lot of that X position out there at the wide receiver. So just a lot of experience all over the field. And if you don't think experience matters, look at the way that Alabama's front was able to handle Alabama's offensive line was able to handle Georgia's defensive line this past weekend. So look at the rosters and look at the experience on Alabama's side. Even though we did play a lot of young guys in the rotation, Michael Carroll, Jackson Lloyd, those guys played some big snaps. But guys like Will Sanders, Jaden Roberts, Parker Brailsford, Geno Vandermark, Caden Proctor, experienced guys that have played a lot of snaps. They played a lot in that game, and they were able to withhold the Georgia pass rush, especially when they only were sitting at 4. We really held up Alabama's offensive line, looked good. But then they're not with Vanderbilt. Their depth there is veteran depth. You got a sophomore graduate transfer behind them at the wide receiver position. You got a junior there. You got a sophomore redshirt sophomore. So guy that's been on campus for 3 years now. This team is full of veteran leadership on both sides of the ball. That's just the offensive side. Look at the defensive side. You see the same thing. A bunch of graduates, and they have Glenn Seabrook gave the top last year in the interior from Vanderbilt. He's back. He's the only young guy, and you see what type of disruption he was able to create as a true freshman last year with his limited reps, and now he's their starter. So our offensive line, the experience there is going to help us in trying to level this out. And using this, all of these things have to matter in this game, right? The experience factor, execution, the level of focus it has to be there. We're at home this year. The crowd should not be a factor for us. We should be able to maintain our focus and our composure in this game and really play a steady game of brand of football. What's good, Melvin? Good to see y'all in the chat. How would you go about keeping the players focused and not allow for complacency creep in after the game? Oh, that's what you was going to ask Coach Kalen Deboer? That's a good question to have. Why don't I ever get notifications? What up, Coach Smook? What up, fam? What up, brother Jay? Good to see you, man. Good to see everybody in the chat, man. Everybody in the chat. Oh, hold on 1 second. Something ain't doing right. Let me see. Okay, now we in the game, chat. Now we in the game. What I was about to do. Okay, we got a depth chart up. Look at Vanderbilt's defense though. Vanderbilt's defense on the back end is where I think we have the advantage. If our offensive line can hold up, I think that's where our focus goes to. We go to starting attacking Vanderbilt in the air in plenty, right? In quantity, not necessarily on the vertical pass as we saw the intermediate game work effectively against Georgia. I think Vanderbilt's going to be a lot more aggressive with a lot of the pressures that they'll be sending, but they're a lot more disciplined in what Georgia has. And Vanderbilt's front is a lot more athletic, surprisingly. Like, it's crazy that in today's day and age of college football that we're actually talking about a big key matchup against Vanderbilt. 3 years ago we were laughing at that, and now 3 years into NIL and portal college football, we see how crazy it is. And we told y'all this. We told y'all it would be a crazy leveling out even of the playing field in college football. What's going on today? What's up, Caden? Good to see you, man. Tevin, what's good, man? Good to see everybody in chat. Make sure y'all run the likes up. London says run stop defense has to be huge in our linebackers in front, 3-4 down linemen. The trenches have to be on point this game for sure. Man, we talked about this the other day, how Alabama's front played well. And if you really look at the game, and we're going to do some film, we're doing film sessions tonight. So tap in tonight. I don't know what time I'm going to go live. But keep your notifications on. I'm gonna run the intro for about 5 minutes before we get right into just reacting to all the previous games. But I'll go some film study type things. All right. If you look at it, the defensive line played great against Georgia. Go look at the front three. They were getting a solid push, and even the linebacker standing up. You know, Yanzi early on when Quay got hurt, saw Yanzi kind of struggling to find his spot when they had him floating him in those gaps, right? But after a while, you know, it wasn't on them, man. If you have the cornerbacks, I've seen 6 explosive plays, run plays, not pass plays, run plays, chat, that bounce to the outside. Guys are getting held, you know, and what I will say is this, London, let's talk about this. And y'all could call me still making excuses or not. I don't get how I was making excuses when we was able to fight through it and win it. But Georgia's offensive line and their tight ends hold so much. I know there's holding on every play, and I'm a firm believer in that. There's some type of holding across the board on every play in those trenches. But the amount and excessiveness of what Georgia was displaying in this game, especially on a lot of those runs that got bounced outside, when you see our defensive linemen or our linebackers trying to rip through and their pads are getting turned all the way around 360, that's a hold, man. And ain't no flopping going on. It wasn't too much flopping. Now, Bray Hubbard got caught flopping and they didn't call it. I'm glad they did, and you can't flop. But other than that one play, man, they were holding bad throughout the game. So we got to get our players to really show some effort through that and even, you know, get favored in those calls because it was happening bad against Georgia. But what I will say is this. Alabama's front played great. The defensive front is what gets flushed to the outside. We got to learn to contain and maintain our leverage on the perimeter, especially with our corners, man. The run fits with the linebackers were better, especially on the interior of this game. Nakai Hill-Green, I continue to say this. Nakai Hill-Green is definitely a force in run stopping. What I think for this game, though, because of how lateral this run game can get and how reactive you have to be, I think you're going to have to see that 3-man front. You're going to have to see it in order to get your sure tacklers up and out in space. But we got to find a way to attack gaps off of that small front or that 3-man front. We got to find a way to be effective in attacking gaps and not waiting, not reacting, not looking for the ball necessarily, but attacking a gap to disrupt and force. Hey, look, right? Especially when you know you're getting run. When the tendency say and the analytics say we're getting a run play here, you know, if it's the RPO, maintain your keys on the back end. Don't commit too heavy from the third level, from the second level with your safeties. Don't commit too early. Don't roll down in that box too early. See that ball in the air first before you break, right? Do all the simple things at a consistent rate just to keep them having to rep those plays, because the more you see a rhythm in things, like a defense can run 60 plays a game, right? I mean, an offense can run 60 plays a game on our defense. But if we're consistently getting them out, you know, the first drive is 9 plays, and then the second drive is 6 plays, then the third drive is 4 plays, fourth drive is 4 plays, fifth drive is 4 plays. Like, if we get in those type of drives, those are good for the defense because now we're picking up on tendencies. Now we're getting the reps. We're getting that muscle memory, right? We're starting to pick up those small things in their technique that we can cue off of. This offense can get tricky if you try to use your traditional keys of keying off the guard. So run fits from the linebackers are going to be important. Definitely want to see Nakai Hill-Green up in space, but been seeing some things about Keon Keeley, Kelby Collins, LT Overton, Nakai, Tua Henry, all those guys trying to give us some depth at the wolf position, because guys like Yanzi Pierre are going to have to stand up in the inside at the inside linebacker position for this game. You know, this is one of those games where we might see a decrease in reps from maybe a Justin Jefferson, right? A lot of big Raptor or cheetah package, whatever you want to call it, a lot of big cheetah package because of the style of offense that we're facing on this defense. And if we tackle good, guys, I think the cloud contain concept against this defense can be effective if you tackle well. If you tackle well, I think the cloud contain concept, you can sit back and take a few punches and then tighten up in the red zone with this. Where this offense has been killing other defenses is they beat you up quick in the green zone, and they strangle you in the red zone, meaning they drag it out. Right? They'll drag it out in the red zone. They'll send all these misdirection reads at you in the red zone, try to confuse you. And to some degree, that helps a defense if you play it aggressively. All those play action fakes and fake handoffs, all of those things in the red zone, the timing has to speed up on them, and you don't have as much space to work with or to escape. So if we learn from last year and we dial up the pressure in those moments closer to the red zone, I think we'll find success. Let me jump in the comments real quick and get active with y'all real quick before we get into the stat breakdown for the first 3 games with Alabama's offense. Where we at? Caden in here trolling again. He wants some attention. Caden, nobody cares about Ohio State. I'm sorry. Like, literally nobody cares about Ohio State. What's up, Matt Forms? Good to see you, my guy. London said, forget offense. Our defense has to show up huge on run defense. Linebackers flying around, knocking that quarterback around, keep his little tail inside the pocket. You know what, London? You got a point to a certain degree, but the offense, did you not remember Vanderbilt's defense getting pressure on our offense last year? Getting pressure on the quarterback? Our O-line has to play great. That's been the reason why the offenses look so fluid. The O-line has been the best part of this team to this point. From week 1 up until now. A few big plays were on Jackson. Hey, Jackson can have his one off. Now, if we go back to last season and look at Jackson defending passes, best ball defender in the secondary, hands down. That leverage though, you right. We got to see better effort on that. I think he was underestimating or giving too much trust in the pursuit, the inside out pursuit from the team, and was underplaying the speed with the bad angles. I'm a person. I'm a believer in, hey, the sideline is my friend. The sideline is my friend. So I'm gonna get to that outside shoulder of whoever trying to block me, and I'm reaching at least, trying to at least turn you inside. Because if I turn you back inside, if you go inside where I'm at, then I did my job. And that's what those DBs got to do. What's up, Greg? Good to see you, man. Roll Tide, my guy. Roll Tide, Greg. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. What's happening? We're here for another 45 minutes, y'all, man. I'm just talking a little football. We just listened in to Coach Kalen Deboer's midweek presser. They asked about Keon Sabb's apparent injury, but Coach Deboer said he's going to be available for the weekend. So we're diving into the breakdown between Alabama and Vanderbilt. Just kind of went over Vanderbilt's personnel availability. We're going to get into some film things tonight. So if you want to get on the film, we got the whiteboard. I took it down, but we'll put it up for tonight's film session, and we'll get into it, talk about a few plays. Well, we'll really be reacting to the previous games, and then we'll react to some Vanderbilt film. And I figured out how to do it without getting copyrighted, so we should be in good shape, chat. I'm not mad. I was put in effort. He was put in effort, but like he said, he didn't realize the speed of number 33 for UGA. 100%. You know what? I made it. Didn't hear from him. Appreciate you, Mary J, for tapping in. It's okay. Look, it was a random one. Y'all know we don't usually do lives on Wednesday. Not like this anyway. So oh my God, that water's so good. Thank you, Jesus. Whew. All right, so get back to the conversation. Let's look at these stats, man. I want to talk about Diego Papia first. Let's get on the offense, quarterback matchups. Let's look at QB matchups real quick. Diego versus Ty. Diego already over 1,000 yards passing for the season, chat. Already over 1,000 yards passing for the season. So, and he's played 5 games. So one more game than Ty. And Ty should be at 1,000. I think he had like 940 something. We'll look in a second. 1,200 passing yards, 94, 126. So a 74% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, three interceptions, sacked 3 times. So the offensive line has been holding up. And we're talking about against not anything crazy defense. No real athletic defenses. We've seen South Carolina defense and their youth show up and they got beat up in that game. So Vanderbilt's front hasn't been challenged. This offense hasn't been challenged, honestly. You know, they dropped 70 on Georgia State, dropped 55 on Utah State, but they gave up 35, gave up 20 to Virginia Tech, and that slow offense. South Carolina lost to Lenore Sellis in the first quarter. I'm not sold on the front. I'm not sold on the front. He hasn't been killing teams with his legs though. So that's something that we really cannot allow to happen. Which we probably in a game like this, that'll probably be the game that he wants to kind of try to utilize his legs the most, right? Averaging 6.1 yards per carry right now, 48 carries in 5 games. So probably what? Almost 8 carries a game. Almost 8 carries a game. Yeah. So a lot of positives looking at Diego Pavia. Somebody said that well, I saw the article where they was talking about Johnny Manziel going to be on the sideline. Who gives a like Johnny Manziel, right? Let's go look at Todd Simpson's passing stats. Let's get over here, chat. I see Zach put it in the chat already. I'm about to pull it up, Zach. Don't worry, it's okay. Everything's going to be just fine. All right, let's get into it. Where's my ticker right here? Here it is. My family is so happy. So looking at Ty Simpson stats, we got and I'll share. Dang, I should have been screen sharing. Yeah, that man. Hey, he needs it. My boy Johnny needs it. My boy Johnny needs it. He said, "I need some help, y'all. Whatever y'all can get my name on this too, I'm good. Hook me up. Hook me up." But to act like that, Pavia don't look a lot like Johnny Manziel with the performances he had last season, we'd be haters. We'd be haters to not act like that man didn't do his thing last season. All right, looking at Todd Simpson stats, let's pull it up, man. 1138, 11 touchdowns. 1138 with 11 touchdowns. No interceptions. No interceptions is the biggest, the best part of this stat, chat. And for our offensive line to be so bad, right? For our offensive line to be so bad, if you go look at that Florida State game, 2 out of those 3 sacks was Ty rolling out the pocket into the pressure. Into the pressure. Head going down, rolling into the pressure, running into the pressure. One time, Caden Proctor got beat. And that's the worst game of the season. Then against Wisconsin, we saw, him just eat a play. No big deal there. Smart play to eat that play, right? Not as much of a run threat. Not as much of a run threat. There hasn't been. Can run it. You see him getting those 2 rushing touchdowns. Can get away for about 10 yards on you. He'll get you a 10, a nice little 10. Man's been done for facts. But Ty Simpson is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country right now. I mean, this is another game that, like I said, Vanderbilt's secondary gave up a lot of explosive plays in Utah. Even though the score says 55, 55-38 or 55-35, whatever it was, they gave up a lot of explosive plays. You don't think Ryan Grubb is going to be inclined? If they try to spread out and match up, I think we'll run the ball and I think we'll have effectiveness. And they're going to have to commit assets. And once they start going one-on-one over top,
they got a bracket Ryan. You know, I don't think too many people worry about Ryan right now. He gonna have to catch about 6 or 7 in a row. But looking at the quarterback, the stats, man, both of these quarterbacks are hot right now. Both offensive lines are protecting the quarterback. If I was to be honest and say which offensive line has been tested the most or been tested, I think, of course, Alabama, we've seen that Florida State front, you've seen that Georgia front. Both fronts are very athletic. I just don't see a Utah State front or a Virginia Tech front being as athletic as Florida State or Georgia. So I think that's a small difference in that. And then the same thing on the back end in coverages. State secondary is very athletic. Wisconsin had a very disciplined athletic secondary. Georgia, a lot of talent in the secondary, but they were butt, right? I've seen some different, some quality defenses. Diego hasn't, but he's got that experience from last year. I don't think the moment gets too big for him. If I had to give the advantage to a quarterback right now, I'm giving it to Ty at home. The offensive line is hot right now, and really just Ty is locked in. I think those 3 years of sitting behind those other quarterbacks, sitting under those coordinators, having that year to sit down and learn through Nick Sheridan, right? Learn this offense through Nick Sheridan, who's now his quarterback coach, talking to him day in, day out. That communication and that relationship that they were building last year behind Miro, that plays a huge role into why they have success now. Ryan Grubb can call plays now as if he's talking to one of his coaches, his counterparts on his staff. Alex says Tennessee will be more of a test. I don't know, man. Tennessee's defense looks real sus. What's up, Joseph? Good to see you in the chat, my guy. Hey, y'all continue running likes up in the chat, man. Where we at? Where we sitting at on likes? We've been hitting our 25 like goal like crazy. We need 7 more. We need 7 more to hit the like goal. And shout out to Zach for being the first co-sponsor on today's stream. And I gotta do something real quick, chat. Hey, where we at? We at the 47-minute mark. Let me go to a quick infomercial break, y'all. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do the O-line, not O-line, but we're gonna do the secondary versus wide receiver comparison, and then the O-line versus the D-line comparisons on both sides of the ball. And then we're gonna close this out. And then tonight we're gonna have our film session. We're gonna tap in. We're gonna react to where do we leave off? We're going to react to Georgia game. And we're going to look at Vanderbilt Bama game last season and provide our insights on some things that we got to see change from last year's to this year's game. So we're going to do all that in today's show. So hopefully y'all here and ready to have fun for another hour. So let's get into it, man. Right after this break, we'll be back. Somebody say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
Let's go. I gotta find a longer applause. That John just be taking. It's like a quick short one. We gotta get long applause. Hey, so let's break it down real quick. Alabama's offense versus Vanderbilt's defense. I think that's a key matchup in this game. A lot of people keep talking about our defense versus their offense. I don't think that's the key matchup. I don't think that's the key one because last year, 6 missed tackles in the first half, 11 missed tackles in the game. This defense was in the right spot to compete and make plays last year. Same thing against Florida State. Same thing against Georgia. Now, one thing I will say against Georgia is we saw them continue to play, regardless of the mistakes, being out of position. We didn't see. We only saw one true broken play. Everything schematically was matched up. Everything was schematically matched up. If guys do their execute, then we see some success. Like, I do truly believe if Damani Jackson sets the edge a lot better on the boundary on those run plays, we see a different type of effectiveness in our run defense, and nobody's crying about the run defense. You guys got to think, before Alabama gave up those 6 explosive plays that were 25 plus yards, each one of them, right? 20 plus yards on 6 plays. We were holding that run game to 2.1 yards per carry. So we do have a run defense. The interior, everything inside the box that was inside the box was solid. It was everything outside the tackle box. I think we can fix that against Vanderbilt with all of the eye candy. I think you're going to have to see those guys be intentional about playing the leverage. Let's talk about Alabama's offense. Alabama's offense versus Vanderbilt's defense. Let me change that. Okay, she got it. Alabama's offense. That game last year was weird. It was, and you can tell that we weren't prepared for that stop, that power option. That power option, that spread power option is a different style because one, Diego Pavia is showing that he can deliver in the passing game. A lot of people thought that, you know, he wasn't as strong, didn't have that ability to be able to hit the intermediate passes consistently. Well, guess what they've done to accent that? They're doing a lot of flood concepts off of the RP, off of the run actions. They're doing a lot of flood, getting them off platform, getting an athletic quarterback with his legs involved. It seems to be more comfortable and a lot more fluid for them and throwing the pass at those mid levels. They have kind of like a hitch or a skip to their throw that gives them that comfortability in launching it. Now, is it the best technique or the best mechanics? No, but if it works, it works. And that's what you do. You hone that in and you continue to build off of it. A lot of unorthodox things and techniques are being utilized in the game nowadays. And your traditionalists and all those people, those old heads, they hate it. But that's what the game is coming to. right? Pat Mahomes would not have got a serious look 20 years ago in college football with the stuff that he do. So, and he's a 3-time winning Super Bowl quarterback. So it just goes. So you got to have your mind open to some change. All right, let's talk about an overview of Alabama's offense. I kind of came up with this, and then I kind of used some resources to put this together. So, through the first 4 games of the season, Alabama's passing attack has been probably one of the best in the country. Right, I think right now they're ranked number 4 in the country with total yards per passing in the game, with 321 yards per game. Right, and then Ty Simpson's 69.7% completion percentage is in the top 5. Is top 5 in Power 5 and number 3 in the SEC right now. Number 2 in the SEC. I'm sorry, number 2 in the SEC. And I'm doing this because I'm trying to factor in Nussmeier's completion percentage from last game. Speaking of LSU, all you LSU fans, can't wait to see y'all. Can't wait for y'all to come, man. Can't wait for it to go down to Death Valley. No interceptions. Like I said, this is a key factor. I want everybody to remember that Ty Simpson has 0 interceptions coming into this game. 0 interceptions. And then we're going to talk about Vanderbilt's defense, right? Pavia said it won't be close if they play their game. Hey, it is what it is. Let them talk. The offense is explosive, averaging, listen to this, 9.5 yards per attempt. So almost hitting that 10-yard clip that Kalen Deboer and his staff wants to when it comes to the passing attempts. And then the passer rating is even higher than it was with when they had Michael Penix through the first 4 games. So this offense is doing something and providing some consistency in what it does when there are people that understand it running it. Defense. Let's talk about the defensive front. Guys that are really going to show up for Vanderbilt's defense up front. And let me go back to this roster. That front, I told you about the guy last year that was a true freshman, Seabrooks the third, gave us a few problems on the interior. Glenn Seabrooks is going to be having to deal with that interior offensive line of Alabama: Cam Dewberry, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, Geno Vandermark. Those guys have been playing their tails off, been playing at a high clip. I'm almost tempted to believe that we might see that mix up of offensive line to where you might see Jaden Roberts get moved out to right tackle for this game. And you might see more Geno at right guard, Cam at left guard, and Caden at left tackle. Wilkin Formby has been playing great. But you're talking about a size thing. And then again, the way that Wilkin Formby played against Georgia, I'm not moving him off of that right tackle position. I like what he's been doing the last 2 weeks as far as growth. So you look at their defensive front, though, they got Glenn Seabrooks, the defensive end, and then also coming backing him up is Mason Nelson. Mason Nelson is the graduate transfer. He's been very impactful early on in the season. Number 54, we're going to have to watch him. Vanderbilt also has 2 guys, a few guys rotating at the linebacker room. We're familiar with one, Keanu Colt. Hasn't been much of an impact, but definitely is a rotational depth piece for them. And he's got speed, lateral speed to cover the sidelines in their defense. Jarvis says, Smook, did you hear Womack was thinking of using Lawson at Wolf on 3rd down packages? I've seen Lawson. I've seen Nakai Hill Green. I've seen Keon Keeley was playing some Wolf reps. Kelby Collins. Like they're trying some different looks because of the personnel that you have. You got to think that originally, if this was Saban's 3-4 nickel, right, where we had the Will Andersons and the Dallas Turners on the field at the same time, traditionally you wouldn't even see Quay Rusar and Noah Carter. Those guys, you wouldn't see them where they are right now. They'll be working somewhere inside linebacker room. But guys like Keon Keeley, they would have been in the Wolf position on the other defensive end with LT Overton and John Latham and guys like that on the other side. So we might see a version or a similar look personnel wise of what Coach Saban would feel against Vanderbilt. And I guarantee you, Coach Womack is going to take into account everything that he learned from last year, especially with the fronts. We won't see a lot of even fronts, meaning you won't see a lot of a guy head up over the center in this game from the D line. I hope not. But Vanderbilt's defensive front is pretty experienced, and then that razor position has got some guys. And then on the back end, this is a defense that has not been able to force a lot of turnovers. And you're talking about a defense that's playing against, not very explosive offenses. Not very explosive offenses. This is a team that they benefited from, like a Virginia Tech team. I honestly didn't think Virginia Tech would wake up until like week 4, week 5. And I think we're starting to see that from Virginia Tech right now, if we're being honest. They're going to be a competitive team in the ACC, but I didn't think they would come into the season humming. And they finished last season strong too. Virginia Tech, they finished last season very competitive. So let me look at this Vanderbilt defensive statistics real quick. Okay, this is a pass defense that's forced three interceptions, right? And that has had 15 pass deflections. And again, listen to these opponents, chat. Listen to these opponents. We're talking about Utah State. We're talking about Charleston Southern. We're talking about Virginia Tech. We're talking about Georgia State, right? These are the opponents. This defense, they couldn't force the big negative plays. Honestly, if we're being honest, Georgia State, minus the explosive plays, Vanderbilt really let Georgia State do what Georgia State wanted to do. A lot of these teams that they're blowing out, they're not keeping these teams off their averages. So are they really dominating these teams, or are these teams just content with doing what they want to do? Right? So I think right now, defensively, Vanderbilt may have the motor, they may have the flow. Right? They may have the experience, but matchup wise, we have a different type of advantage this season. We have a different type of advantage, and we'll highlight some of those in our film session tonight. But final thing. The key matchup to me is going to be the running backs. The running backs versus Vanderbilt's defense. Alabama's running backs versus Vanderbilt's defense. Last year, I don't think the running backs had an opportunity to be utilized at a clip in this game. When our defense was struggling, I think we kept airing it out because our running backs were ineffective in this game. Jalen Milroe was taking the ball out of their stomach a lot, and a lot of those run actions, getting behind the sticks on first down. Yes, we were moving the ball in the pass game. We were converting. We were able to make a comeback and take the lead and then lose it or whatever. I think, did we come back and take the lead? I don't think we ever took the lead back. But however the game went, right? I think the running backs will have an opportunity to be more impactful in this game. One, in the run game, we saw Jam Miller being back. His patience lets you see how this run game can be effective. Kevin Riley showed us how explosive it can be if you have a patient and decisive runner. If you watch Richard Young get in the game and run, he's very antsy, really pressing the hole. Any push from the defensive line, he's already trying to press in and get up in the mesh and try to rumble his way through instead of waiting for things to play out. Jared Miller looked real patient and he ran good. This past weekend. And then I don't want to hear nothing from Ray. We had a whole phone call segment. He ain't calling. I don't want to see nothing he got to say, Mary J. You ain't even got to highlight it. He ain't got nothing to say. He ain't talking about nothing important, I promise you. Phone line to be open on Friday, Ray. Then you can call in because you got some questions to answer. That pick six made a difference in that game last year too. And then the fumble also. You gotta remember Jalen Milroe's fumble in that game too. So just a lot of self-induced moves, missed tackles, not taking care of the ball, turnovers. All those things matter in games like this, and you have to see a complete game. But the running backs will help alleviate that. We see how willing this staff is to get the running backs targeted and involved, especially Ty. He'll check down quick when you got guys like Kevin Riley, AK Deer, Daniel Hill. We didn't see those guys last game, but when you got guys like that in your room to couple with Jam Miller and Richard Young, you're in a good spot. We've seen Kevin Riley be effective, making tough catches downfield. catches out the backfield. Same thing with Jared Miller on the wheel route. Just a lot of different things that we should be able to see utilized. And if anything, right, final key, Ryan Grubb. Ryan Grubb is the key to this game, chat. If y'all haven't noticed, when Ryan Grubb is hot, this team is hot. Play calling wise, when Ryan Grubb is hot, play calling wise, the team is hot. The defense plays better. It's like he knows how to control the pace of the game from the offensive side. I don't think Alabama fans have been able to experience that ever again. A lot of times, you guys, what's up, Square Business? Good to see you. A lot of you guys haven't had the luxury of seeing that. We got to see glimpses of it. We got to see glimpses of it during the Saban era. Don't be texting my phone. We got to see glimpses of it during the Saban era with Coach Lane Kiffin, right? That's on a different level now, because now multiple teams in college football do that at a high level. So now as Bama fans, we get to see it. Kirby Smart has usually done it with his defense. He's been able to allow his defense to, take his time on the offensive side, run the ball and take his time. But now you're seeing it done in the pass game where you can get and run sets, check out of them quick because you have pass personnel in, right? When the last time we've seen Alabama with 3 tight ends on the field and still throw the ball? And it looked good. So we had a different spot. We had a different spot in Alabama football. I think right now the running backs are going to play a huge part in keeping this defense honest. I don't think Vanderbilt's going to load the box. They're going to play some man over top. Not much. I don't think they trust their secondary with this group of receivers. I don't think they trust this secondary with this group of receivers, and not Ty Simpson the way he's humming right now. Somebody's going to try to find a way to disrupt them. Somebody has to crack the code, and nobody's been able to do it yet. Florida State wasn't even able to do it for real. He put himself. He gave Florida State 3 sacks. Florida State didn't sack him. I think he gave Florida State 3 sacks. But that's going to do it for today's segment and chatting with Coach Smook, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. We got some cuts we're going to be dropping today. The funeral ceremony from this past weekend to commemorate Georgia football. 27 likes a second go. Oh, appreciate y'all for the likes, man. Appreciate y'all for hitting the like goal, man. What up, Chris? What up, Chapman? I believe this game we see Ryan break out. Stop putting that pressure on Ryan, man. Y'all keep coming back every week, talk about Ryan showing up. Let that man. Hey, Ryan's in a sophomore slump right now. All right. And until he truly admits that there's pressure on him, right? And he embraces the growth part of this process and stop trying to outshine it, but just go through it. Shine through it. Not outshine it, but shine through it. He'll be fine. He's a hard worker. Very disciplined. He gonna figure it out. And I know a lot of fans gonna flip on him, and do whatever. But it is what it is. But guys, I gotta get out of here. We'll be back in a little bit. To look at some film. I'm gonna get some cuts put up for y'all, and we're gonna have another show tonight, man. Hopefully, we have some fun. And then tomorrow is Thursday. We'll be doing we'll be checking out the high school. Check them out, mid-season highlights, and some other things we're gonna be checking out. So yeah, no pressure. I just think he puts it together this weekend. He was almost there last weekend. Did you see the screenplay to Jeremy Bernard? Did you see that? I gotta see something else, man. I don't know. It is what it is. All right, y'all. If y'all had fun, man, make sure y'all continue to run the likes up. If you're watching this post live, make sure you run the likes up. Make sure you continue to check out the content on the page. We got shorts, we got cuts, we got VODs, we got all that good stuff. Check out the new posts. We got a team member going to be taking over our posts from the page. Different polls and different topics of conversation discussing college football, not just Alabama, but college football, recruiting, everything going to be popping up on the page. So be interactive. Get used to using YouTube, man. YouTube about to expand again, and gonna have some good interactive things for the consumer base. But until I see y'all again, man, remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, "Put me in the game, Coach Smook." I'll catch y'all on the next one.
And roll, Tide, roll.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.